Welcome back, everyone. We have our two last panels after our lunch break. So this will be panel 5, and it will be Institutional Authority and Female Religious Leadership, Al-Azhar and Beyond. And Ahmad Sobhi Mustafa will be chairing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jackie, for this opportunity and for the organization. Welcome back, everybody. So this session, as Dr. Jackie said, is not about Al-Azhar for sure. It's about Egypt as a case study, if I can say that. And this introduction is very important in my understanding for a lot of people who are not familiar with the institutions, religious institutions in Egypt. So in Egypt, we have 3 official institutions. We have Al-Azhar, we have Dar al-Ifta, and Al-Awqaf. So Al-Azhar, most of people in the West, unfortunately, think that it's only a university. So this is a very huge misconception because Al-Azhar has one branch, which is the university, and it has around 22 branches or campuses around Egypt. But this is one branch inside Al-Azhar. Al-Azhar has the Senate or the Mashayikha, and it has the senior scholars body, Hayat Kibar al-Ulama, and it has also the Al-Azhar Research Academy, which has the preachers underneath that, and it has the قطاع المعاهد الأزهرية or the K-12, as we say, K-12 schools, which is more than 1,000 schools in Egypt. 11,000? Okay, so thank you for the correction. So this is only Al-Azhar. We have Dar al-Ifta as well, the house of the Fatwa in Egypt, and this is another institution that is working underneath the judiciary system. And we have Al-Awqaf, or the endowment, the Islamic religious endowment minister in Egypt. So today we're going to have 3 papers from the 3 different institutions, and I'm so happy to be part of this panel. We're going to start with introduction for the first paper, and then the second paper and the third paper, and after that we're going to have enough time for questions from the audience and from the researchers themselves. The first presenters today is Zeinab Mohamed El-Saeed and Fahmy Abdelkawy, and both are Umana al-Fatwa, and they are presenting women's participation in official fatwa, Egypt's Dar al-Ifta as a case study of institutional religious authority. Zeinab Mohamed El-Saeed is an Aminat al-Fatwa or Fatwa counselor at the Egyptian Dar al-Ifta, and the first woman in Egypt to hold this position within a formal institutional framework at Dar al-Ifta. She studied at Al-Azhar University and holds master's degree in Islamic philosophy. Her academic and professional interests include fatwa methodology, contemporary Islamic legal reasoning, and women's roles within official religious institutions. Her work also includes scholarly research, media engagement, and participation in specialized academic conferences. And she is co-author with Sheikh Fahmy, and he's here. So Zeinab will be with us virtually, unfortunately, but Sheikh Fahmy, he's here. Sheikh Fahmy is an Amin al-Fatwa, Fatwa counselor as well at the Egyptian Dar al-Ifta, and he is a graduate of Al-Azhar University, and he completed his postgraduate studies in Islamic studies as well as advanced professional training in institutional fatwa practice. His research and professional interests focus on fatwa methodology, applied Islamic legal reasoning, contemporary religious authority, and training imams and youth to critically engage extremist ideology. He has also participated in academic and interfaith educational initiatives in the United States, including lecturing at Wheaton College, and serves on the advisory board of the Knowledge Center for Research and Education in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So, Sheikh Fahmy, تفضل, and Zeinab.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First of all, it's my honor to be here with you at this Blessing University. And it's my honor actually to attend this conference. I would love to thank the college and to thank Dr. Jackie, Dr. Rahina, and my dear brother Ahmad. Thank you very much, and Asma. Thank you for every one of you for having us here. And if we're going to talk about the fatwa and about the women at Darul Ifta as a case study, the case study is Darul Ifta, by the way. Our case study is Darul Ifta, and we will try to attract and see how the Darul Ifta dealt with the women and how Darul Ifta worked on that. Now I think we have Zainab with us online. Zainab, do you hear us?
Yes, السلام عليكم.
زينب إن شاء الله يعني أرجو أن حضرتك في البداية تقدمي نفسك ويعني تشاركينا تجربتك كأول مفتية في دار الإفتاء المصرية. أنا سأترجم إن شاء الله. I asked her to introduce herself as the first woman hired as a fatwa counselor at Egypt's Dar al-Ifta. So I asked her to talk about herself and her experience. يلا تفضلي حضرتك. ممكن تفتحي الفيديو.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
بداية اسمحوا لي أن أتخذ من عنوان المؤتمر صوت النساء دافعا لي أو مبررا أن أتحدث بلغتي العربية التي تمثل حقيقة صوتي وأداة فكري.
ما شاء الله. She is proud because her language is Arabic.
ثم إني أشكر من أتاح لي الفرصة للمشاركة في هذا المؤتمر العلمي الثري، وأشكر كذلك جميع القائمين عليه. وأقدم كلمتي معكم انطلاقا من منطلقين أساسيين. أولهما
Ahmad ثواني يا زينب. Ahmad is going to help in the translation.
I'm gonna try to translate as much as I can, okay?
Yeah.
So she is taking advantage of the title of our conference to present her paper and talk in Arabic. Okay. كملي أستاذة زينب.
أولهما كمشاركة في بحث علمي بعنوان مشاركة المرأة في الفتوى الرسمية دار الإفتاء المصرية نموذجاً مع الزميلة العزيزة الشيخ فهمي عبدالقوي، والذي يتناول بيان تجربة دار الإفتاء الفريدة في مشاركة النساء في العملية الإفتائية الرسمية.
And she is proud to present her paper with Sheikh Fahmy as a case study in Dar al-Ifta and how Dar al-Ifta was the first place to have Amina or a fatwa counselor as a female.
It's better to open the video for the
Yeah, ممكن تفتحي الفيديو أستاذة زينب لو حابة عشان
تمام.
احنا شايفين حضرتك يعني.
وهذا الجانب سوف يعرضه لنا زميلي الشيخ فهمي، وهو يعني هو كفيل بذلك.
بس احنا كنا عايزين نسمع تجربتك الشخصية في العمل في الفتوى. يعني لخص لنا تجربتك. I'm asking her to summarize her experience as she is the first one. It's something يعني سبحان الله amazing and unique. She is the first one hired as a fatwa counselor at Egypt's Dar al-Ifta. فقولي لنا تجربتك الشخصية يعني.
ده المنطلق الثاني، وهو الجزء الثاني من الكلمة، اللي هو إني جزء من الجانب الواقعي لهذه التجربة، لأنني من أوائل النساء اللاتي انضممن للعمل في المجال الإفتائي بدار الإفتاء المصرية. وقد خضت أنا
My second part of my speech today for you is that the experience, I am a real experience of what happened in Dar al-Ifta, and she is the first woman who was hired as Aminat al-Fatwa.
تفضلي.
وقد خضت أنا وزميلاتي مراحل تدريب متعددة أثمرت أن تم إدماج كل واحدة منا في إدارات الدار المختلفة وفقا لما أبدته من مهارة أثناء فترة التدريب.
Every one of them, they are some females has been included in the DAR, and every one of them were trained in a certain section. And she says that everybody was doing what their ability or their skills is the best.
وقد بدأت عملي بإدارة الفتوى المكتوبة، وهي إدارة تختص بتأصيل الفتاوى وصياغتها صياغة فقهية رصينة، ثم انتقلت منها إلى إدارة البوابة الإلكترونية، وهي بمثابة بوابة العالم على دار الإفتاء المصرية، فمن خلالها تعرض كافة أبحاث وفتاوى ومؤلفات وأخبار دار الإفتاء المصرية. ثم
So
انضممت
she started in the section
Written.
of the written fatwa, and then she went to the web to join the website of Dar al-Ifta. That is the door, the word for the world to see Dar al-Ifta, and she was working on that.
ثم انضممت عضوا بلجنة الأحوال الشخصية، ثم لجنة العبادات، ثم لجنة الصياغة.
And then she participated in many other sections in the ritual committee and the rulings for the civil issues for women and in general.
وبعد سنوات كثيرة من الجهد والتدرج في العمل، تم اختياري كأول امرأة تتولى منصب أمينة فتوى في تاريخ دار الإفتاء المصرية.
And after her hard working on every section she participated in, she was chosen to be the first counselor, fatwa counselor, as a female fatwa counselor. تفضلي.
أول امرأة تنضم إلى لجنة أمانة الفتوى ويكون لها صوت مسموع في صياغة القرار الإفتائي المؤسسي.
To be the first women's voice in the fatwa counselor committee.
وكذلك أول امرأة تمنحها دار الإفتاء المصرية الثقة للتواصل عبر صفحتها، والتي يزيد عدد متابعيها عن 16 مليون متابع، من أجل الإجابة عن أسئلة المستفتين بالبث المباشر.
And she was the first female voice in this committee to represent the women's voice in the Fatwa Counselor Committee, especially in the air and through the Facebook and some social media with around 13 or 16 million followers.
فالحمد لله رب العالمين، أنا جزء من تجربة دار الإفتاء المصرية، وشاهد على جهودها وما أتاحته للنساء من فرص تدريب وتأهيل وتدرج في العمل، من أجل الحصول على حقهن في المشاركة الفعالة في أمر لم يسبق للنساء المشاركة فيه، وهو صياغة القرار الإفتائي المؤسسي.
So I am a representation of the hardworking women in any section and any institution that has been in the hierarchy until she achieved the highest committee in Dar al-Ifta.
وختاما خالص الدعوات لجميع الحضور والمستمعين بكل توفيق، وأعتذر عن الإطالة، وأترككم مع الزميل الفاضل للاستماع إلى ملخص البحث.
And thank you so much. And now we will be listening to our paper with Sheikh Fahmy.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much, Zeinab. How can I go back? Again, welcome everyone, and inshallah now I will try to introduce our paper. As Zainab mentioned, our paper, it's about the Dar al-Ifta al-Misriya and the women at Dar al-Ifta al-Misriya. I would love, before starting, to deliver with my heavy heart the word sorry to the Muslim community in San Diego because of what happened there, and to everyone here in the United States and anywhere, for the mankind in general. I would love to say sorry and to ask everyone to pray for the victims and to work together. It's the occasion and the time to strengthen our cooperation and to work together as human beings to protect the human beings in general from the bad thoughts. When we're talking about Dar al-Ifta, by the way, we're talking about an organization. This organization is started or established 1895. And it's the oldest department for fatwa in over the world. No way for any organization related to fatwa, no way for anyone to say this organization is started before the Department of Fatwa in Egypt or Dar al-Ifta al-Misriya. So when we talk about Dar al-Ifta, we're talking about a old and great organization, and it's actually part from Al-Azhar, which it's, mashallah, as you know, Al-Azhar, the oldest institution in the Islamic studies and everywhere, over 1,000 years. And by the way, fatwa didn't start 1895 in Egypt in a department of fatwa. Fatwa started in Egypt as Dr. Ahmad Hilal. He is a professor in the historical field. He mentioned fatwa started in Egypt at the time of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and specifically started with the companion. His name is Uqbah ibn Amir al-Juhani, and he is the first mufti for Egypt. He came to Egypt with Amr ibn al-As, and he started answering the questions of everyone. And through the years, every time Egypt used to have a mufti or a number of muftiin in the different states in all of the country. And then in 1895, the government started or established a special department for fatwa through the Khidevi Abbas Hilmi Jr. He is the one established this department. When we're talking about the paper today, the abstract about this paper, it's inshallah going, or what I try to do. I try to deliver the idea through three theories. The Bourdieu's simply capital and its important theory. He is talking about the capital and how much it's important to transfer the knowledge to be something strong, and how you can do it in the fatwa and in the education field. And Faber's rational legal authority, he is, as you know, talking about the bureaucracy and how the bureaucracies sometimes stopping any development, and how much it's important for anyone in each field to work hard to reach to his goal. And the third one, the DiMaggio and Paul and their theory, which it's very important theory, is talking about the institutions and organizations and how much they are similar. And at the end of the day, they are going through the same way to achieve the same goal, but maybe in different positions. The empirical foundation, the three complementary data sources, the Bourdieu and Weber and DiMaggio and Pauls. What we were trying to do, direct field work, testimony, as me and Zeinab comes from Dar al-Ifta. Yes, maybe 2-3 years back, I'm not there, but I attended Dar al-Ifta 2006. I was very young, and I can say I'm one of those they monitored or they witnessed everything happen day one, and I witnessed the first woman when she entered Dar al-Ifta, what the impression, what happened, what she did, and everything related to this point. And we have 5 documented consultation cases to show you how the audience or the people, how they accepted or how they dealt with a woman as a fatwa counselor or fatwa researcher in Dar al-Ifta. And actually, I will share with you some numbers about the social media and the impact of the social media, especially after the women started delivering the fatwa through the channels of Dar al-Ifta. I think it's very important to focus on this slide. As you see, can I take off the The pictures from here?
Yes, go to the left.
Here?
Dash اللي على الشمال خالص.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, as you see here in this slide, we're trying to differentiate between the educational women and those that are doing or practicing education and those that they are preaching and those that they are delivering fatwa. The religious education, it's so, mashallah, old. And as you know, and as we heard in the previous papers, many scholars, many professors, they did a great job and they are female. Since the time of the Prophet ﷺ till nowadays. And in Egypt, when I try to monitor and get some names, nowadays we have Dr. Zeinab Abdulsalam Abul Fadl. She is a member of Majma al-Buhuth al-Islamiyya. And before we have Dr. Abla al-Kahlawi. Many scholars, mashallah, they are playing very, very important role in the universities, and they're educating the community and educating the students. Doesn't matter if they are male or female, but they're not issuing fatwa. And by the way, the law in Egypt, the last version of the law mentioned as no way for anyone to issue a fatwa or to give a fatwa except those they have a license. So if they don't have a license, or no one of them had a license, so no way for any one of them to issue a fatwa. The number two, the outreach of the preaching. There are many dua, or those they are doing da'wah. They're inviting people to learn the basics of Islam, and some of them actually they didn't graduate from Al-Azhar, like Dr. Nadia Amara. She was one of the well-known dua now in Egypt, but she didn't graduate from Al-Azhar, and she is doing good, but actually she cannot issue a fatwa or she cannot deliver a fatwa. When we're talking about the Dar al-Ifta al-Misriya, or the official fatwa, the female didn't show up at Egypt's Dar al-Ifta since the establishment of Dar al-Ifta till, you can say, 2014. Even if they attended Dar al-Ifta since 2007, but actually they spent time with Dar al-Ifta to be qualified and actually to accept the trust of the organization. And this is what you can understand through Pierre and through the theories I mentioned. Even if they are qualified, even if they had the same education, but the organization has to make sure that they can represent the organization in such a proper way, right? Here it's the history of Dar al-Ifta. It's established 1895, and the first mufti, his name is Sheikh Hassoun al-Nawawi. And since Dar al-Ifta establishment till now, there are 20 mufti, but I'm not sharing the names of the 20 mufti. I just selected those. They changed something in the history of Dar al-Ifta. Sheikh Hassoun al-Nawawi, the first one. Then Imam Mohamed Abdu. He is the first individual mufti, because the muftiin before Imam Mohamed Abdu, they were part of Mashiachat al-Azhar, part of Al-Azhar department or Al-Azhar organization. But since the time of Imam Mohamed Abdu, he or the government changed the Dar al-Ifta, and the government made it related to the Ministry of Justice. So since this time, it's part of the Ministry of Justice. And then during the days or the years, we achieved or arrived to the time of Dr. Ali Jum'ah. And Dr. Ali Jum'ah actually is one of those, he made a big change in the history of Dar al-Ifta. Before him, Dr. Muhammad Sayyid Tantawi, he built the building. And then Dr. Ali Jum'ah built a new building, because Dar al-Ifta was a small apartment in the Ministry of Justice building. So Dr. Sayyid Tantawi built a new building, and Dr. Ali Jum'ah, after him, he opened many new branches, and he organized Dar al-Ifta. And then the time of Dr. Shawqi Allam, he did a great job, and he is the one offered the women more space. Dr. Ali Jum'a offered her the space first time. Dr. Shawqi Alam extended that space. And then now Dr. Nadir Ayad, he is doing a great job. And he is offering female or the women more space to play more rules at Darul Ifta. Now let's go to the 4 phases of women's participation in official fatwa work. What the women doing at Darul Ifta, what she is doing. We know that the muftin, the males, yeah, okay. The males doing the or playing the rules of Umana al-Fatwa, they're answering the fatawa through the different branches. But for the females, how they started and when they are, where they are nowadays. They started, actually I attended Darul Ifta and I think at this time we had like 5-6 females, that's it. And all of them, they were working at different departments, but no one of them worked as a researcher or as official fatwa counselor. Maybe some 2 or 3 they were interpreting or doing the translation. One is working at the human resources, one is working in the finance department. But then maybe 1 year after we accepted one sister, she started working as a researcher at the researcher center of Darul Ifta. And by the way, her name is Zeinab Wissam. So the first one attended as a researcher, religious researcher, her name is Zeinab. And the first fatwa counselor, her name is Zeinab. Subhanallah. And then during the time of Dr. Nadir, Dr. Shawqi Alam, he extended that, he added more, and you can see the numbers, 12 up to 15, and then he extended that. They went up to be 22 at the time of 2024, 2023, 2024. And there are 2 important actions happened at this time. Number one, the president issued a new rule or decree, a very important part at this time about Darul Ifta itself, and he made Darul Ifta individual, and as the Mufti has more authority, he can do more or he can issue more rules inside Darul Ifta. And Dr. Shawqi Alam hired Zeinab al-Saeed as the first fatwa counselor at the same year.
So they can see you.
Jazakallah khair. Now, at the time of Dr. Nadir Ayad, which phase 4, 24 up to now, they're working in different departments. The females working in the fatwa, written fatwa, they're issuing fatawa, they're working in the research center, they're working in the bilingual department to issue fatawa in different languages, or they're doing it in Arabic and someone is translating. They're representing Darul Ifta al-Misriya at the social media and the TV, and they are collaborating, or they are representing Darul Ifta in the collaboration between Darul Ifta and different organizations. So now they are doing such great job. And here we can monitor and see the numbers through the years, the male and the females, the percentages of the females at Darul Ifta. Now they're around the corner to be like 10% of the workers in general. And if you are seeing here the number, the numbers here, this is the number of the audience, those that are following the videos. Actually, when I watched the YouTube channel of Darul Ifta, I reviewed it. I got one of the highest videos, subhanallah, numbers, big number of people, they watched it. It was delivered by Zeinab. And she got a big number when we're comparing between her and the males at the same time. Here, you can see these are the departments that the females at Darul Ifta serving. They are working in the written fatwas. They're issuing the fatwa and the oral fatwa. They are hosting the people when they're coming to ask. Actually, they are answering the fatwa through the telephone and the electronic fatwas. They're doing the fatwa services through the multilingual fatwas. As you see, the live broadcasts, they're collaborating with the different organizations. Here, it's like case study. We try to ask the people, those that are coming, especially the women, and they're asking why you prefer to go to a female fatwa counselor. Why it's if it's better or not for you. So if you're here, if you see this slide, you will get most of the women, they prefer to ask fatwa, ask their question or to deliver their question to a fatwa counselor, to a female fatwa counselor, because of the reasons they shared here. If it's about the inheritance, about the purifications, about the ibadat, about the marriage, about the iddah, all of these stuff, they're preferring to ask females.
Sheikh Fahmy, you have 5 minutes to wrap.
Okay, inshallah. Don't worry. Here, the theoretical frameworks and here, what we're trying to say, if you remember, I started talking about the 3 theories and how much it's important when we are reading and when we're understanding what's going on and how the female got her space. The 3 theories help to understand it and to get more details about the results, what we achieved or we reached to at Egypt's Dar al-Ifta. Here we try to do comparison between Dar al-Ifta and Egypt as a case study and different countries, Turkey, Malaysia, Indonesia, Morocco, and differentiate between the rules of those that are preaching and those that are issuing fatwa. But I think many papers covered this point already. Here, the study finding and the recommendations. Before delivering the details, I would love to say something. Yes, Dar al-Ifta helped the females to reach to unique positions, which is fatwa counselor. But actually, till now, no one of the females reached to be a manager of one of the main branches at Dar al-Ifta. So we're waiting for getting one of them at least running one of the main departments. If you're talking about the main departments, it's the oral fatwa, the written fatwa, the central, the research center, the bilingual department. We're waiting for one of them to be in this position. This is number one. Number two, actually, most of the females, they're not hiring in stable positions. So they are working till now, most of them temporarily contracted. Not the males, they are getting their positions and it's stable and they are saddled. They know that they can go and work here years and years. So this is number two. We're waiting for having more space and more stable positions for the females. Number three, as it's very, very important, no one of them till now part of the close circle of the Grand Mufti. As you know, each organization has its own secretary committee or whatever, something running everything, following everything. So we are waiting to get one of them at this position. And these are hopes. We hope to have it, and part of the paper to deliver the advices and to share what we can do to make it more better. So this is what I would love to share before reaching to the key finding. The key finding number one, as you see, the historical absence. It wasn't intentional exclusion. No one had the intention to get the females away, but as Dar al-Ifta is part of the country, it's part of the circumstances in general. So because of the circumstances, they didn't get an opportunity to start serving there. The fundamental transformation came from genuine functional need. Actually, starting 2014, Dar al-Ifta started opening new branches. They opened like 3-4 branches in different states, and because of that, it was a shortage on the number of the fatwa counselors. So they were seeking and looking for someone is qualified, doesn't matter if he is male or female. So it was part of the reasons behind. Number 3, the qualification program for female counselors is fully like the male program. So no differences between the two sides in the program. Women's participation positively affected fatwa quality, especially when we're talking about the purity, the personal status, and the sensitive marital matters, because it's easier for a female to ask a female and to go through the details with her. So having females made it easy for more sisters or more women. They used to came, and before asking, some of them, they used to leave the office before delivering their concern or asking their question, because it's hard for some of them to ask about their personal issues in front of a man. The conclusion, the consultation seeker resistance, this is part of the theory of fever, as the bureaucracies stopping the development, and the last theory, it's like a resistance between the bureaucratics and the rules and the old mindset and what we need and what the community needs. Number 6, Egypt's Dar al-Ifta has achieved a documented, presented, unmatched globally. As the conclusion here, or what I would love to say, Dar al-Ifta did something great when they hired the first fatwa counselor officially. Because if you're going to Turkey, if you're going to Malaysia, to Indonesia, to Morocco, no one there has the title of the official fatwa counselor or official mufti. No one, except here at Dar al-Ifta. So it's great. And here are the recommendations. Number 1, develop and announce scholarship pathway for female staff with clear, objective progression criteria equal to men's in all respects. It's better to add more for that. Number 2, ensure community through stable employment mechanisms, appoint on fixed financial grades to retain accumulated human capital. Number 3, establish a specialized internal research unit for the women's and following up what they are doing at Dar al-Ifta. And number 4, gradually expand female presence in specialized scholarly committees beyond women's and family issues to all jurisprudential domains. Number 5, provide leadership and administrative. I think I did it already, subhanallah. So at the end, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And I would love to see you, inshallah, in the future one more time.
Thank you so much for Zainab and Sheikh Fahmy. There is usually a saying that say, never give a mic to an imam because he can stay for an hour or two as he wants. I know you can talk for until the end of the session, but so thank you so much for very informative, like detailed information. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna go for the next presenter, Dr. Reham Salamah, becoming a female faith actor, women's leadership and religious authority at Al-Azhar. So she's gonna be representing Al-Azhar as a female director, and she is the general director of Al-Azhar Observatory for Combating Extremism, and she has a very long bio with a lot of achievements. I will just conclude it with one thing, that in 2024, she was honored to be honored by the president of Egypt to be among one of the 10 top women in Egypt in that year. So thank you so much for coming today.
So good evening once again. As I said yesterday, and I will keep on repeating that it's a pleasure to be here in the University of Kansas, a pleasure to be invited by my very dear friends now, Dr. Jacqueline, Dr. Rahina, and everyone else here in the room. Yesterday, I talked a lot about how the women played a very important role in the early Islamic era and in the medieval period and now in the modern time too. But today I will be talking more and focusing upon the moral, educational, and institutional authority and female religious leadership. And I would also like you to allow me to talk a little about my own personal experience, because I believe that's a very important step and a story, I guess, that you would like to hear and know. So first of all, I would like to talk about the holistic religious perspective, and that the Quran and Hadith, the prophetic narrations, when interpreted holistically and within their historical contexts, do not inherently prohibit women from assuming positions of religious authority. While certain interpretations have historically been used to limit women's public roles, a careful re-examination reveals a much more clearer picture. The Quran, for instance, our holy book, praises the wisdom and leadership of the Queen of Sheba, Saba, and the emphasis on knowledge, ilm, throughout Islamic tradition applies equally to men and women, and this have been mentioned yesterday with evidence-based information. I believe I don't have to repeat all that again. The historical examples of female muftis and scholars further underscore that the eligibility of women to serve as muftis on any issue, not just gender-specific ones, is recognized by all four Sunni schools of law. Reclaiming this holistic religious perspective requires a conscious effort to reveal or to revisit and re-evaluate, and I'm using this rethink a lot, okay? To re-evaluate the rich historical legacy of female religious leadership. It necessitates moving beyond restrictive interpretations and embracing the full breadth of Islamic scholarship that has for centuries celebrated the intellectual contributions of women. Okay, okay, I'm sorry. Is it a PDF? That's easy. Okay, thank you. So in recent decades, however, the institution has witnessed a measurable shift towards the bureaucratic incorporation of women into positions of authority, including academic governance, advisory structures, and strategic institutional bodies. The following part of my paper examines these developments as part of a broader transformation in the relationship between gender, knowledge, and institutional legitimacy. So I will start with women in academic governance, deanship, and faculty leadership within Al-Azhar. Al-Azhar, as mentioned now by Sheikh Fahmy and before also with Dr. Ahmad Sobhi, it's not just a mosque, it's not just a university, but it has different sectors. So we are talking about a sector that's called قطاع المعاهد الأزهرية, which means the body of the Al-Azhar institution. So no one will join Al-Azhar University unless he's a graduate of Al-Azhar Institute. It's just a normal school, but beside science, math, English, you will be studying Islamic studies and memorizing the Holy Quran. So until the 12 years of school end, you will be memorizing the full Holy Book. And then after that, you can go to whatever college you like, whatever faculty you like. Now we are talking about 102 faculties in Al-Azhar, other than our main faculty, which is the faculty of, for example, Islamic law, the faculty of Arabic language. These were the main faculties or the pillars of Al-Azhar University. But now we are talking about 102 faculties, and AI is the recent one. The faculty of the artificial intelligence. It has just been established last year. Ahmad said that there are a few thousand, but there are 11,500 Al-Azhar Institute all around Egypt with almost 2 million students. So of course, in numbers, they're much less than the normal schools because we are talking about much more percentage of schools, but still Al-Azhar Institutes, they do play a very important role in the educational system of Egypt. So the structural basis for women's participation in Al-Azhar's academic administration can be traced to law number 103 of 1961, which recognized Al-Azhar University and expanded its faculties, including parallel institutions for female students. This reform enabled the gradual appointment of women to formal administrative positions, including deanships and vice deanships. So Al-Azhar has taken substantial steps towards gender inclusivity. 30% of senior leadership in Al-Azhar are now women. We have got 240,000 students, female students studying at Al-Azhar. A prominent example of this deanship that I have just mentioned is Dr. Abla al-Kahlawi, which was also mentioned by Sheikh Fahmy. This is Professor Abla al-Kahlawi. She served as a dean of the Faculty of Islamic and Arabic Studies for Women in Cairo. Her appointment marked a significant moment in the institutional recognition of female leadership within Al-Azhar, combining scholarly authority with executive administrative responsibility. More broadly, women now serve as deans and vice deans across Al-Azhar's women's faculties, just as I have mentioned now, department heads in disciplines such as Sharia, theology, and Arabic studies, members of university councils and academic committees. These appointments, typically formalized through presidential decrees and university regulations, indicate the normalization of female participation in academic governance structures. Okay, this is a very important step too. And Dr. Nahla al-Saeedi, Professor Nahla al-Saeedi, she is the first female advisor to the Grand Imam, but not the last, because I'll also be talking a little about Dr. Sahar Nasr, who was the former Minister of International Cooperation of Egypt, a very strong lady. She was the minister for 4 years, and now she's also the advisor to the Grand Imam for the issues related to something called Baytu Zakah. And that's, a center that is responsible for receiving charities and alms from all around Egypt and even from other countries of the world. They are doing a great job. They are helping more than 70,000 women, whether because of some family problems, health issues, etc. But now, on the Egyptian social level, they are doing a great job. So this is Dr. Sahar Nasr, but here I wanted to focus that under the leadership of the Grand Imam, Dr. Ahmad al-Tayyib. He's the Grand Imam since 11 years now. He has expanded its consultative frameworks to address contemporary religious and social challenges, including family issues and the renewal of religious discourse. So within this evolving institution environment, women have been incorporated into advisory and consultative roles. Among the most notable figure is Professor Nahla al-Saeedi, who has held senior positions within Al-Azhar and is recognized as one of the first women to assume a formal advisory role connected to the office of the Grand Imam directly. This never happened before. This development reflects a shift from peripheral participation to proximity to institutional decision-making, thereby expanding the scope of female influence within the highest levels of religious authority. So we are talking about real things. This is not fake. We are not just making it to the world to prove that the Grand Imam now has a female advisor, but they are there to proving themselves that they are capable of doing what a man can do, and that we as Muslim women, we are covering our heads with veils, but we are not covering our brains with anything. So our brain, our capabilities is there to serve, to help, and to prove ourselves that in the end, there is no difference between a male and female. We complete each other. Okay, definitely we are different, but this is in the end complementary. So we are complementing each other, not fighting or comparing one with the other. So I wanted to talk about Dr. Sahar too, but I have mentioned her before, Professor Nahla al-Saeedi. And now I would like to shift to the women in strategic institutional bodies and to shift to my observatory, which I am very proud to be not heading, but actually not leading, but actually serving 110 researchers in 13 different language departments, including other departments too that serve these language departments. So yeah, and Ahmad also, when he was talking and introducing us in the very beginning, he said that we will be talking about 3 religious institutions, Al-Azhar, al-Ifta, and Al-Awqaf. I am talking about Al-Azhar. My dear brother here, Sheikh Fahmy, talked about al-Ifta al-Masriya, and Dr. Osaama Raslan, my very dear brother, will be talking about Wizarat al-Awqaf. But a point that I'm sure Dr. Osaama Raslan will be focusing on is that it's one religious body, one religious institution with 3 parts. So one part is Al-Azhar, which I believe is the main source that will give Imam to the Ministry of Endowments, that will be preaching in the mosques and will be giving Umana al-Fatwa, the Fatwa consultants, etc. Okay, to Dar al-Ifta al-Masriya, and we, Al-Azhar, the university, the Majma' al-Buhuth Islam, the research academy. So, so it's one religious institution, but with 3 parts. Okay, so the same thing and the same, you can say, what the idea is related to the center that I work in. So it's called Al-Azhar International Center for Electronic Fatwa, Monitoring and Translation. So once again, it has 3 parts. One part is concerned with monitoring the religious misconceptions or misconceptions related to Islam in different languages in the world. So we have got 13 languages. When first started my work, I was the head of the Urdu department. I had 4 colleagues. All of them were girls. I didn't choose them by myself or, that they had to be girls, but they were brilliant. And among many boys and many girls, they were the ones who were chosen, not once again because of their gender, but because of their capabilities. So I was lucky that my team were all females. Even I wasn't the only one, of course, there as the host or as the interviewer, but in the end, we were 5, all of us. Okay, so I was confined to this little department of Urdu till 2022, and after that, I became the general director of the whole observatory. So this observatory is related to observe and monitor any misconception, as I said. And then after analyzing this misconception, we reply back in the very same language in which we detected the misconception. So if you are talking about, for example, a misconception in Swahili in the African context, we will, after detecting it, analyzing it, proving what is wrong with this religiously, and then disseminating it back on our website through the very same language so that we can also put the target audience into consideration, because the language, like I will just mention now, is of great importance. You know, it builds bridges. So when I talk in Urdu with a person who knows Urdu better than English or Arabic, of course, as his mother tongue, he will believe me, he will trust me, he will be able to hear me and listen to me and understand me much better than anyone, than any other language. So the Al-Azhar Observatory is the second part of the center. And the first part which I talked about then is the Electronic Fatwa Center. And then is the Al-Azhar Center for Translation. 3 bodies under 1 center. Okay, so each body has a director, which runs its the regulations and the body, at the administration and represented in different events, etc. So this significant development in the institutionalization of female authority is the appointment of women to leadership roles within Al-Azhar specialized bodies. And established in 2015, Al-Azhar Observatory for Combating Extremism serves as a multilingual research and monitoring center dedicated to countering extremist ideologies, and the appointment of a woman as its executive director represents a qualitative shift in the nature of female religious authority at Al-Azhar. So what are the responsibilities of the executive director? First of all, supervising research and analytical units across multiple languages. Secondly, coordinating the monitoring of extremist propaganda, including ISIS and Al-Qaeda narratives. Thirdly, overseeing the production of strategic reports and intellectual responses. And fourthly, representing Al-Azhar in international counter-extremism engagements. So my position demonstrates female leadership in high security policy relevant religious institutions, expansion of religious authority into global ideological and geopolitical arenas, institutional trust in women to shape strategic religious discourse at the highest level. This represents a qualitative shift from women as participants in religious knowledge to executive actors in institutional strategy and global religious diplomacy. And now just allow me to tell you a little about myself and about my personal experience and my story and my journey that started when I was appointed in the Faculty of Languages and Translation Urdu department, and that was in 2006. So this faculty is concerned with teaching different languages. It's literature, poetry, etc., and equip the students with the tools of translation. I was appointed as an assistant lecturer in 2006 in its Urdu department. I enjoy teaching this language very much. It's a sweet mixture of Turkish, Arabic, Persian, and English too. I did my master's and then my PhD in 2013. And in 2015, I was selected by the Grand Imam himself to lead the Urdu team of Al-Azhar Observatory, which was a newborn part of Al-Azhar at that time. The idea was to establish a team of experts who speak various languages, not merely any language, but particularly those languages that ISIS used as a mean to spread its deviant ideologies. I can't assume how many of you might know that ISIS, when started expanding on military and strategic level, it was focusing on a much serious level in its ideological expansion. So through diverse contexts, using the language as a tool to address, attract, influence, and recruit, believe it or not, they produced materials written in English, French, German, Turkish, Swahili, Urdu, and later Arabic. Arabic came in the end, but still they are producing in Arabic. They targeted youth all over the world to reach them, to be close enough to understand them. They had to talk to them their own language according to their own context. They sought to extend bridges of understanding between them and the young generation, especially we're talking about people ages 15 to 28. And they got successful to an extent that in a very short period of time, they recruited almost 41,000 foreign fighters. 15% of them were women. So I was elected by the Grand Imam to supervise the Urdu department, as I said, because we had 4 publications in Urdu by Daesh, by Taliban, and by Qaeda. I still remember the day when I stepped for the first time in Al-Azhar Sheikhdom, Mashayikh Al-Azhar, which is almost 10 kilometers away from my university, but I have never been there. You know, it was not even I never thought about it, that I, as a girl, will ever go there. So, in spite of this closeness, but it was a dream which came true that day when I stepped for the first time. It was a strange feeling. I was exploring the place with pride and respect. I was asked to wait in a beautiful hall till our meeting time with the Grand Imam, and I wasn't alone, of course. I remember all the names. Dr. Osaama, who was the first president of the observatory, a French professor. Dr. Mohamed Abdelkawy, a German professor. People from speaking English, Italian, Turkish, Greek, and I was coming to explore a whole new world, which I didn't know actually exists in the very nearby campus of the boys' branch, that we had such minds that can make and create a change, both men and women. So let me cut the story short. I joined the observatory. I was the only female supervisor of among the various departments. There were 10 girls in the observatory at that time. I remember when that day I came back to my home, and I told my father, who was also a professor in Al-Azhar University, what happened. He said, I can't believe it. I have never seen a female in Mashayikh Al-Azhar ever. So are you serious? Is this going to happen? So I told him, yes, the Grand Imam told us that that we are making a team of different language experts who need to detect the discourse in the language and reply back in the various. Yes, Baba, I will be joining this thing that's called the Observatory in 2015. And he said, I've never seen young people. I have never seen women in Mashayikh Al-Azhar. So what the Grand Imam is doing is remarkable. And I'm proud of you, of course. My father has passed away, but I believe that Reham Salamah, is carrying his name. So, in the end, I would like to say that the institutionalization of the female preachers, the Egyptian Ministry of Endowments is doing a great job, and I will, of course, leave the floor to Dr. Osaama Raslan to talk more about it. But before concluding, I would like to say that in this Fatwa Center, the second part of my center, so we have got the observatory, revealing the misconceptions in different languages, and once again, tackling them and giving the right answers in the language. The second is the Fatwa Center. So this Fatwa Center has something called Qism Fatawa an-Nisa. Okay, it's a department related to fatwa, related to women. There are a group of muftiyat working in this unit, and they are doing an amazing job. Okay, they have different initiatives like a course that's called Al-Muqbilin ala Zawaj, the prospective newlyweds. Okay, so the counseling that yesterday we were talking about Mariama, that she was doing the counseling, the pre-marriage counseling process. And we also have got Al-Tawiyya Al-Usariya program, family awareness program. We have got another unit that's called the reconciliation unit. within this center. So they are all, solving issues related to women, girls, family issues even if there is a dispute between the family members, etc. So this I had to talk about this, in Al-Azhar, the Markaz al-Fatwa, and the great job that they're doing. So to conclude, institutional authority and female religious leadership are not contradictory concepts within Islamic civilization. On the contrary, Islamic history provides abundant evidence of women's participation in scholarship, legal reasoning, education, and moral leadership. Al-Azhar's evolving incorporation of women into academic, advisory, and strategic structures reflects broader transformation occurring across the Muslim world. While the journey remains incomplete, these developments signal a gradual restoration of dimensions of Islamic history that had long been marginalized or forgotten. The future of religious institutions depends not merely on preserving tradition, but on recovering the full breadth of that tradition, including the intellectual and institutional contributions of Muslim women. Only through such recovery can Islamic institutions continue to exercise moral credibility, scholarly vitality, and social relevance in the contemporary world. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Dr. Reham. Thank you for everybody here and the audience in the Zoom. And now we are going to our last presenter today in this session. Dr. Osaama Raslan, he's going to present Ministry of Charitable Endowments, Female Preachers, Egypt's newest PVECT effort. And Dr. Osaama Raslan, we are very happy to have you with us today. He is the spokesman of the Egypt's Ministry of Awqaf. He is a scholar, linguist, and public intellectual scholar in Egypt and in Al-Azhar. He holds advanced degrees in legal linguistics in both Arabic and English. His career spans academia, media, and policy. He has taught at multiple Egyptian universities, headed translation and research departments at major institutions, directed the English language unit at Al-Azhar Observatory for Combating Extremism, and spent roughly a decade teaching communication and media studies at postgraduate level. He is an author of many books. He translated many books and published many researchers in translation, linguistics, Quranic exegesis, and counterterrorism, and contributed to outlets including Arab Media and Society at the American University in Cairo. He has also had a visible media presence as a producer, presenter, and analyst on Egyptian television and radio in both Arabic and English. So we are very, very happy to have you, Dr. Osaama. Can you share your screen, or you want me to share your presentation?
Well, thank you, dear brother. And actually, I'm not quite familiar with what is the best option here. I mean, technically speaking, is it better for you to share at your end?
Yes, if we are okay with that too. I can make you a co-host. So in case if you want to try, you can also.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. I would like to thank everyone, even those who attended to my emails and to my inquiries every now and then. Let me delve right away into my presentation. Well, it is entitled, finally, as the emergence and institutional role of female preachers in the Egyptian Ministry of Endowments, a strategic response to extremism, social fragmentation, and community reform. This is slide number 2, Brother Ahmed, and you may move also to slide 3 now. Female preachers, why? And why here actually addresses the research problem. And my research problem comes from a real life problem. Actually, like 15 years ago, when there was a state of liquidity, I mean, at the level of politics, security, and society, etc., in Egypt and across the region, we were almost in a state of chaos. I would say even anarchy for a certain period. Back then, we noticed that, I mean, the Egyptian state, through its ministries, of course, and one of them is the Ministry of Endowments, on which the case study is being presented right now. For those who don't know, the Ministry of Endowments in Egypt supervises all mosques and all places of worship of Muslims, of course, in Egypt. And they have come to detect that extremists and even terrorists approach places of worship, and they try to recruit people who go to mosques, whether males or females. And it holds particularly true for female prayer spaces within mosques, because, you know, for the ordinary norm here in Egypt, you have separate compartments for women to pray at within mosques. So they try to recruit women at various age groups, from various age groups, who head for those mosques to perform their prayers and just to maintain their contact with God. So they try to recruit them as potential extremists and even terrorists. And they had this evil idea in mind. If you succeed in recruiting a woman, then you have already recruited a family. I'm not talking about immediate family members here only, but also the extended family members as well, because a woman typically in a society like the Egyptian society, where family matters a lot, a woman, especially a wife, a mother, can affect her children, their way of thinking, can even affect her husband, his way of thinking, and even affect her sisters and those within the extended range of the meaning of family. So the research problem comes from a real life problem. And from that threat back then, the Ministry of Endowments, I didn't have the honor of being part of it back then, because I only moved from Al-Azhar University and Al-Azhar Observatory to the Ministry of Endowments less than 2 years ago. But back then, they had to have a strong intervention. And how would that happen? They decided, the Ministry of Endowments back then, like 15 or 14 years ago, decided to institutionalize the role of female preachers and to have them well equipped for social intervention. And this necessitated a good qualification of female preachers. Now I move to slide 4, Brother Dr. Ahmad. This takes us to the research questions. To what extent does the formal integration of female preachers constitute a coherent strategic response to the dual threats of religious extremism and social fragmentation? This is question number 1. And number 2, what are the structural, educational, and ideological mechanisms through which these female preachers operate under the umbrella, of course, of the Ministry of Endowments? Now, next slide, the methodology. We're talking here about a qualitative document-based analytical approach, which is adopted for this study. I have used official documents issued by the Egyptian Ministry of Endowments, and I have also visited classical and modern Islamic jurisprudential and reformist texts about the role of women as a religious authority. And this here, I can feel the contact and the shared ground from which we move. I mean, Dr. Reham, as she highlighted that part in her wonderful presentation, as well as that of Dr. Fahmy and Dr. Zeinab for their informative presentation as well. And still within the methodology, I've also adopted some historical and legal sources tracing the evolution of women's rights in Egypt, either at the level of the constitution or the several constitutions we had over the last century and 2 decades, or at the level of turning those constitutions into operational laws. Now, limitations of the study, I have basically three limitations temporally that comes that relates to the time. The formal establishment of the female preachers sector within the Ministry of Endowments dates back to 2014. And the most available data that I have used for this study belongs to this very month, May 2026. At the geographical level, this paper is limited to the Arab Republic of Egypt, of course. And when it comes to the themes, the study focuses on the institutional, educational, and social dimensions of the preacher's role. So I'm not addressing parts relating to the economic part or anything like that. Now, the structure of the study, I have 16 sections. They relate to the training and formation of female preachers, their deployment nationwide, and of course, their engagement with pressing social issues, the historical and legal context for women's rights in Egypt, classical jurisprudential foundations from Ibn Hazm, like 6 centuries or 7 centuries ago, up to modern age. And Section 7, for example, examines briefly some surveys of media coverage of preachers, female preachers' role and activities in Egypt. Let me cut this short. You already have the whole research paper. So let me go deeper into the structure of the study. Now we get to the training and formation of female preachers, and this is one of the most important sections of this study. The ministry adopts a rigorous, multi-dimensional and interdisciplinary continued approach to the equipment, to the training of female preachers. And why so? Because of the nature of the audience. Think of some mothers, some wives, or even little girls or so going to the mosque, trying to meet some religious authority, female religious authority, and they want to air some grievances, to share some concerns. Here, a female preacher would usually find herself coming across psychological concerns and social issues and even political issues, some economic issues as well. Not to mention the ideological or extremist ideologies they are going to come across every now and then. So a female preacher standing up to her role must be multidimensionally and interdisciplinarily equipped and prepared. And from this entails the fact that they have to be very well trained in the refutation of radical doctrines and how to cultivate intellectual resilience, how to think critically, and of course, they have to have strong awareness of the socio-political conditions around them, not only at the level of local issues. They wouldn't be only needed to consider local issues, but also they have to think of regional issues because, as you know, and even international issues, because as you know, our part of the world has so much going on, being affecting other countries and being affected by other conflicts of any nature taking place anywhere in the world. And that's why the ministry have adopted strong and rigorous training courses for female preachers, including in the fields of jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence as well, theology, law, psychology, sociology, communication strategies. They have also to be trained in acquiring and exercising strong soft skills and hard skills, being familiarized with contemporary issues affecting the Egyptian society and beyond as well. This is slide 9. This is almost half of the presentation covered so far. And here, I'd like to highlight the official statistical and strategic overview of what is going on with the female preachers sector within the ministry. The incumbent minister, Dr. Osaama Al-Azhari, who assumed the office back in July 2024, he decided to create this position, a position of assistant minister for female preachers. It was created almost a year ago, and we have, and he has already chosen a, I would say, a public figure, a female public figure, of course, who is a university professor. Her main specialty is mass communication. She is a great volunteer. And by the way, I believe that the name of late Dr. Abdelkawy was mentioned by the both presentations already delivered before me. And I'd like to say that the one adopted as the assistant minister is her daughter. This is Dr. Marwa Yassin. For the total number of the female preachers within the ministry, we're talking now about 1,024 female preachers, and they come from across all the 27 governorates of Egypt. Of course, we have developed a vision and a strategic mission for them. And number one, it's all about transcending conventional preaching. We need to move from that square of conventionalism to something totally new that would be attractive enough to the audience. And of course, we have been given so much effort to the intellectual empowerment of female preachers. Now, this is slide 10. Now, after sorting out those applying for the position of female preachers with the ministry, they can be classified into several categories. Number one, we have professional guides. Number two, we have jurists who can deliver fatwa by the way, to their audience. Three, we have educational consultants. And four, we have academics among them, of course. And we have also family counselors. We have digital media influencers. Some of them have followers in millions. And we have what we call psychological first aiders among them. And we have another category known as health guides. And we have Quran recitation teachers, because reciters are not only males when it comes to reciting the ever-glorious Quran. And this is very much attractive to people with who are religious, and they are a lot in our society, actually. And we have another category, which is the female preachers that are dedicated to certain social groups. I mean, those with hearing and speaking disabilities who need some sign language translations or interpretation all the time. And so we have female preachers dedicated for those groups. And finally, we have what we call international ambassadors, those who master different languages, I mean, besides Arabic, of course. This is slide 11 when it comes to the operational channels and issues. Now we have 3 integrated channels for the work of female preachers of the ministry. They go to mosques, of course, and every now and then we assign them mosques. So one female preacher would know that she's assigned them so-and-so mosque for like 3 months or half a year or a year or something like that. And they have regular lessons and lectures to deliver to the audience of that mosque. And of course, some of them are field-based. I mean, they go to schools, they go to sports centers and clubs, they go to cultural clubs, they go to universities as well, etc. And we have those entrusted with missions of appearing on mass media. And here I'm talking about traditional means of communication such as TV, radio, and journalism, and of course, those modern mass media channels such as social media platforms. And we have 4 strategic issues that they need to address all the time, in which they are trained to deliver their mission. And these are countering religious extremism, countering non-religious extremism, and trying or seeking to build the characters among their audiences, and this help them introduce to the society strong civil contributions by audience. When it comes to the operational challenges for female preachers, we have, of course, the physical infrastructure, media production, and because this a little bit is costly, and that's why the ministry seeks to help them every now and then with whatever means it can. When it comes also to human resources, we're talking about a society with almost 100 million and 110 million population. That's Egypt now. And having only like 1,000 female preachers or so isn't good enough by any means. And that's why we keep trying to equip more female preachers to assume these roles. Of course, we have the issue of financial resources. When it comes to any public work, no money is enough. I believe this is a rule that can be verified anywhere in the world for any field. Of course, we have also another big issue, which is the digital competition by extremist ideologies, because like 20, 30 years ago, if you can control mosques or places of worship and other means of and ways and places of communicating with the audience, that it would be good enough to control or to contain extremist ideologies. This is not the case anymore. Thanks, of course, to revolutionary ways of communication and technologies, as we can see. And that's why there is a digital competition. I would say it's a strong, high wave of extremism being preached in different languages, like Dr. Reham highlighted a while ago, in different languages across the world. And people, if anyone is preaching extremist ideologies to the East, and this doesn't mean that people living to the West wouldn't be seeing or watching these extremist ideologies. And of course, we are still faced with some extremist views of women's role in society. People who would say that there is no such thing as female religious authority. And this is, of course, as like Dr. Reham highlighted and the other presentation as well, this is not true when it comes to the true message and actual history of Muslims. My research paper goes on to adopt or to explain some perspectives on female religious authority, whether in the history of Muslims or even in modern age. That of Dr. Hussein Mu'nis, was a great author and intellectual, an Egyptian one. And of course, Ibn Hazm, a great scholar in Muslim history. And of course, there are some empirical and evaluation and even institutional accountability courses adopted by the Ministry of Endowments when it comes to the activities of its female preachers. I've also highlighted some ideas and perspectives by Qasim Amin, who is the most one defending women's role in Egypt, like a century ago or less. And of course, I also have highlighted the ideas of Professor Mahmoud Shaltut, who was the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, and other perspectives as well have been highlighted in my research paper. Now, let me jump to the conclusion. So this research paper seeks to find out about the calibration of religious authority in Egypt when we actually are raising the awareness of the society at large, trying to safeguard the society against the evils of extremism, whether religious or of any other forms. And of course, we're seeking also to revive the brilliant history of female Muslim scholars. And in all this, we're adopting a multi-perspective approach. And of course, it is much needed. It must be strengthened to build on and boost previous experience. Let me also highlight the main issues that keep recurring in the field of action for female preachers. Well, first of all, religious extremism and its all forms, and such issues that belong to social habits rather than to religious understanding, such as female genital mutilation. Of course, extremist ideologies with political nuances or purposes. These are all some of the main issues that are addressed by the female preachers. And of course, I can add to them family control policies, especially those adopted by the Egyptian state. And some people still think that this is an un-Islamic way of controlling or trying to control birth, which is not true, of course. And I have also read some recommendations. Some of them are delivered to policymakers. Some of them are meant to be addressed by researchers. And some of them, of course, are to be addressed by the Ministry of Endowments. Let me wrap up with, again, thank you everyone for attending to this. Hopefully this is of any benefit or the least benefit to you. Thank you for having me for this participation. And hopefully next time I will be at the campus of the University of Kansas in the US. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Osaama. Thank you for your presentation. And I will open the floor now for any questions from the audience, either online or here in the room. I myself have some questions for all the presenters. Anybody has any question before I say mine?